You know what's wrong in our community? That we don't forgive for mistakes. I don't know who is right, who is wrong, because I haven't heard. I believe both sides. This one says he didn't do anything, and this one says the lady say he did do something. But I don't know who's right or who's wrong. But the Rabbonim have taken on that Reb Chaim Halpern is wrong. Let's say they made a mistake. Let's say Reb Chaim Halpern is really, or has made a mistake and he's really wrong. I don't know who's right or wrong. But one thing is definitely, people in life make mistakes. Moshe Rabbeinu made mistakes. He hit the rock instead of talking to it. Rabbis make mistakes in late generations. I've had a fantastic story of which I saw by the Ger Rebbe, the Beisis School. It was on a Tzom Gedalia, 6 years before he was Niftia. He had just had an operation, and they were davening mincha, and they said Ashrei, and they said Kaddish, and the Ger Rebbe started going backwards and making his head right to daven Shemon Esrei. Where after the Kaddish on Tzom Gedalia, you take out you say Ba'ibit Zoya, you take out the Sefer Torah into line, and the Ger Rebbe started going backwards. He forgot completely that you're going to line, that there's a Kriyas HaTorah. And luckily, Mr. Dreiman went up to him and touched him. Nobody knew what to do, and touched him and said, "Oh." And later on, the Rebbe came to my side where I was standing. We all stood in such a half a ring circle. And the Rebbe said to who I used to learn with, who I was stood next to, Pinchas Usher Lipson, he was called. He was a great Talmud. He was before the war. He lived nearly the last year of his life. He lived in Ger, in Yerushalayim, and I learned with him. And till he died, the day he died, I learned with him. He was one of the Rabbunim with the Besmedrash, and the Rebbe came up to my corner, and the basis when I heard him because I stood next to him, and he said, "Hab Eibe gefasst zum Gedalia, hab der erste Mal nicht gefasst, hab ich vergessen." The Rebbe can make a tourist, he can make a mistake. The world doesn't go under. Moshe Rabbeinu made a mistake. The Rebbe can make a mistake. I even had such a case by the Pnei Menachem. I had a fantastic, when the Pnei Menachem was Rosh Hashiva in Ger, my brother learned in Brisk, in Reb Chaim Aaron Tochin. And they used to hang up in the newsagents or the kiosks, they used to hang up the Yediot Achronot on the front page. You could read what's news. And in Ger, you didn't read no Goyish. You're reading Yediot Achronot in the street. This was disgusting. It was only considered by the Litvish. My brother stood in the street, and he was reading the Yediot Achronot, and the Pnei Menachem went past, and he saw him. And then they called me and they told me I've got to get out of the yeshiva and the whole thing. I said, it wasn't me, it was my brother. Ich hab a tvis ein, he said, by Pnei Menachem, and I recognize the person. I said, he made a mistake. I've got a brother like that. I've got a twin brother here who's coming to learn. Anyway, he didn't want to till Rabbi Yankel Ginsburg's Levuch mixed in, and Maya Silberstein, who I learned with, who is now Rov in Yerushalayim of the Besmedrash, he mixed in and told the Bnei Menachem that you've made a mistake. The Bnei Menachem, until the end, he wouldn't admit, he went back on it, I didn't have to leave the yeshiva, but he wouldn't admit he'd made a mistake. And the Beisis School was going with my cousin once in the street, with Moshe Block, and he saw my twin brother, and he said, Ähnlichkeit, they're so similar, I can't believe it. I couldn't get over it, so similar. And my brother was dressed different than me. I went a long jacket, he went a short jacket. So there is such a thing, that a Rebbe can make a mistake. The Satmar Rebbe, Zechayin Levucha, also made a mistake. He said they won't get to the Levuna, they won't get to the moon. When they started these Spotkins and satellites, and they going to the moon, man will never get onto the moon, because it says Shem Shani Roiket in the Kiddush Levuna. And I don't know who it was, but I heard from somebody telling me that either it was Rabbi Yankel Ornstein, who was my father's cousin, or Rabbi Yankel Teitelbaum, who was my uncle. One of the two were very near to Satmar Rebbe, and they to persuade him to withdraw on this statement that they won't get to the moon, because they'll get to the moon and he will look as made mistakes. But he can make mistakes. Gedolim can make mistakes. Moshe Rabbeinu made mistakes. The point is that we have to allow for mistakes. So even if Reb Chaim, let's say, did something wrong, according to the 5 rabbis, he made a mistake. Let's forgive it and finish. We don't have to persecute like the Goyim, la'olam void, and try and kill it. The same way is Reb Chaim. If the 5 Rabbunim made a mistake, they don't have to go on till the end saying we didn't make a mistake. You made a mistake. Say I'm sorry. We all say we're sorry. And I think this should be the end of the parsha, and everybody should say sorry to each other. And the parsha and the whole saga of Reb Chaim Halpern should be forgotten, because it's not doing any tachlis to anybody in our community. Mistakes happen, even by Gedolei Yisrael.